Welcome to Coffee Confessions, an online talk show on Selfie TV, one of the only unique talk shows that invites several guests to talk on opinions on various topics. Today's topic is, will intelligent women always stay single? Let's talk to our guests and find out. I'd like to welcome Injeel Moti, a PR professional and a fashion and beauty blogger. She's here with us right now. Let's hear what she's got to say. Hi, Injeel.
Hi, Zareen.
How are you doing?
Very well. How are you?
So far, so good. So thank you, first of all, for choosing this topic. Not a lot of people were very open to coming and discussing, since it's a personal one.
I can see why.
So do you find it difficult sometimes to date people here, maybe because of your intelligence? Do you think that's a hindrance?
I wouldn't like to generalize here and say that is common for all the men, but yes, in my experience, there has been a little bit of a struggle. I wouldn't say it's entirely due to intelligence. It's also to do with the fact that I'm a very strong-headed individual. I'm independent, and that I feel sometimes, tends to intimidate men a little bit.
In your experience, what is the first thing that you look for in a man? Do you also find it intimidating if there's an intelligent man, for example, that you're looking at to date?
Not at all. In fact, that attracts me to a man, their intelligence, because for me, aside from the looks and all of that, if I cannot converse with the person at an intellectual level, then there is no connection. So I find that quality very attractive.
What has been the advice given to you by your friends and colleagues about going on a date? Have you ever been told to dumb out a little bit?
Not my friends so much, but yes, I would say family a little bit, and surprisingly that a lot of the advice comes from women, women from the previous generation. And I don't see that so much now with this generation, thank God. But yes, it does come from women a little bit.
Yeah, so what is the one thing that's really irritated you that you've been told to try out?
I think it's more about how, I need to please my partner, I need to please the man, or even if that requires dumbing myself down or keeping my opinion to myself, as long as that it keeps him happy, I need to sort of do that, and that irritates me quite a bit because I don't expect him to do that, so he shouldn't expect of me to do that as well.
Can you give me one example where you thought that just because you are a little bit more intelligent in the situation that you were let down by a man?
I think when you're driving with a man and he's driving and you're sitting on the passenger seat, you might know the directions a bit better than he does. But if you do sort of interject and tell him, he doesn't like that, So he's like, I know, it's okay, I got it. But as opposed to if a man was sitting next to them and was giving directions, they'd just, go with it. So that's a little concerning to me.
That's interesting. So if a man had to ask you out, what is an advice that you can give to the male gender for dating an intelligent woman?
I think you really need to see your partner as your equal. That balance needs to be there. So his mindset needs to be open and accepting of that. Like I'm going ahead and I'm going to date someone who's independent, who can take care of herself on her own, and she's been doing it. So I'm coming in as a wonderful addition in her life. So I'm not filling any missing boxes. I'm just there as an addition, and it's wonderful to have me.
What I'd like to ask you is, do you think intelligent women will stay single?
I don't think they would stay single. Yeah, maybe it might take a little longer to find, because I think we're in that stage where the mindsets are changing now. So people are evolving. So females are evolving, males are evolving. So it would take a little bit longer. But no, I don't see that they would stay single forever. It would happen eventually. So
one of the things I wanted to ask you was, when you're single, how do your friends play a role? Do they try to, get someone for you? How's that experience been?
I've had that experience quite a few times. I think the second I'm out of a relationship, my friends get very eager, so they want to, hook me up. So yeah, I've had that, but that mostly comes with, what they think is good for me. So I've gone on a couple of meetings, casual meetings, I wouldn't say dates, but met with people, but nothing's worked out as much.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever give them 3 points at least of what you're looking for? And if they were, what are those?
I do, yes. Of course, I think for me,
number one?
The physicality is tall. He needs to be tall, because
Really?
Yes, I'm obsessed with wearing high heels, so the man needs to be tall. The second is, of course, intelligence, or, he needs to be intellectual. Mm-hmm. And the third is very much the fact that I think that should be a basic requirement is that he needs to respect women. Not just the women in his house, but women anywhere else, in any space, in any profession, anything of that sort. And I can sort of gauge that from the very first to second meeting. Mm-hmm. So these are the 3 top points, yeah.
How do you test when a man is respectful? What is your litmus test for that?
I tend to ask him about other women, because if he's sitting with me, he's going to show a lot of respect, but then how does he speak about,
So do you bring up his exes?
Yes, very much. I think that's the perfect test. So how did you break up? What went wrong? So yeah.
Okay. And so who's the winner usually? If the story is positive, that's the person who gets more points? Okay.
So if he's making sense and the story makes sense, so yes.
Okay. Does your family ever tell you that you have an expiry date on you and you need to be settled?
All the time.
And how has that pressure been?
It's been difficult. Lately it's been difficult. I think as the days and the years go by, it's getting harder and harder. But it's okay because I'm learning how to deal with it better and better.
So how do you deal with it? What is your response usually?
I try and explain, this is what I'm looking for and I'm not finding this yet. So there's no point getting into something and being unhappy with it later on. So I'd rather just wait it out and, go ahead with the right person. So sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's okay.
But that's an intelligent answer. So good on you. Thank you, Injeel.
Thank you.
You see every flaw, fine lines, imperfections in your skin tone, dark spots starting to appear. New Palmer's Skin Therapy Oil for your face helps improve the appearance of the most troubling signs of aging. Put your best face forward with Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula Skin Therapy Oil for your face.
Since this is such an exciting and controversial topic, we would like to find out what you all have to say about it.
Well, there are a lot of studies that have proven that women who have more IQ level and more intelligence are always single. They kind of be hesitant to get into a long-term relation because they become so independent with themselves that they go on for it.
In fact, I think that very intelligent partners are incredibly alluring and sexy, and they have their own mystique. So I think it's a wonderful thing.
It's a society thing where men always think, oh, we are the greatest people. So if a woman can talk better than the man, he will feel a bit, down. I will say, oh, no, she talks too much, or she's, I don't think bossy, yeah.
I would date an intelligent woman. I think beauty would fade away in time, intelligence wouldn't.
I think if I wasn't intelligent, my husband wouldn't have married me in the first place, so I don't think so. It doesn't go together. Being intelligent and being single. You can be intelligent, married, have children, and still be intelligent.
I would definitely date an intelligent woman. I think it's one of the most attractive qualities to find in someone, so yes, I would.
If you see in the institution of relationships or marriages, if you think that you can actually carry on with a relationship, I think it's very simple. Like if you can balance your work life and your personal life, I don't think it's complicated or it's impossible.
I think intelligent women can make good wives. I don't necessarily know if it works well for the marriage because I think it's a matter of the man accepting that the woman is more intelligent. I mean, when we're talking about a wife, you're talking about in a comparative sense that she's more intelligent than the man.
I've read a lot of articles that say that the more intelligent the woman, it's harder for her to get a partner in life.
Men get intimidated by women who are maybe successful, or women who are intelligent, or women who are very confident. So they generally can't accept that, oh, a woman.
I would prefer a woman who is smart and understanding, And there's a lot of women who are intelligent, but when it comes to relationship and love, so it's about your trust and your understanding between partners. That is more important.
If an intelligent woman chooses to marry, that doesn't make her foolish. I mean, intelligence is all about how she feels and how she wants to carry on with her life. It's a personal choice.
Right now, I'm very happy to welcome back Dr. Daamini Shrivastav. Let's hear what she's got to say. Hi, Daamini.
More power to you. You brought me back on a Friday morning.
Thank you for actually making time and coming
Always a pleasure.
So, this topic, let's start. So, do you think intelligent women have it harder to find a mate?
I think intelligent people in general have it harder to find. Not just, and when I say mate, it doesn't necessarily mean romantic partners. I think even friendships suffer if you aren't compatible intellectually. So yeah, probably.
So this one's a little bit more on relationships. Right. So how long have you been single?
Officially, I have been single all my life.
Okay, that's pretty nice.
Yes, it is. It's lovely. I'm not answerable to anybody. I don't have to fight for the toilet seat to not be up. To be, yeah, well.
Do you find it difficult to be on dates with men?
I think they might have found it difficult to be on a date with me. I am quite an opinionated person. We can look up my phone book and call those people and you can get a bite from them. I'm trying to remember if I've definitely taken my time before I've sort of gone out on that, because I think the minute you put the label of a date, then there's always that awkwardness. You sort of have to make sure your hair's in place and he's sort of, plucking spinach out from his teeth. So, yeah. I think I've taken my time. I don't think anyone that was uninteresting, I've not sort of gotten to that stage then with them.
So how hard do you think it is for men to ask you out? Do they find you intimidating at times?
I've been told I'm intimidating in general. So I don't think I would single out men. I think the men that I have been interested in have always found a way to come to me. So next show.
Next show. So what is your filtering process like? What are the 3 things that you first notice and kind of go checkpoint?
There's a very famous Bollywood film where the female protagonist says, to me, the only 3 things that matter are good looks, and good looks. So no, that's not mine. Mine is intelligence, and more intelligence.
If there are things you want to put out there as maybe an advice to men who want to date you, what would the 3 things you tell them?
Dare. And you have to become best friends with my dad.
Oh yeah?
Absolutely. And you have to like dogs. Oh wait, there's a list. Hold on.
Okay, yeah,
do I have a list? Where's my list? I think I find ambition very sexy. Someone that is not happy just being. Somebody very dear to me told me that when he was 15, he said that he decided that his only aim in life was to make a difference. That was a huge turn on. I push boundaries, I tear envelopes, and I expect somebody who is romantically involved with me to do the same.
That's good. I have a question now. The people around you, your friends and family, have they ever given you advice that have been like, please tone yourself down, talk less, be more approachable? No?
On the contrary, I'm born to very strong feminists. Both my mother and my father are extremely feminist. So on the contrary, my mother's always been, don't settle and speak your mind. And dad says, you don't have to change yourself for anybody. And we're very accustomed to not being told to tone down.
So as we move on, women, intelligent women especially, are dating later in life and also settling down a lot later in their age. So what is the one advice that you can give them?
No, it's not women alone. Obviously, men are marrying later as well. The difference is, say, 10 years ago, a woman didn't have an option of presuming that this, say we take woman X. Woman X wants to, at some point, have biological children of her own. Woman X, or that way every woman, always had a biological clock ticking. Today you have options. You can freeze your eggs. You're not going to race against your biological clock. If there are troubles conceiving naturally, you have an option. That option didn't exist. I think that is, I say that what the contraceptive pill was to women in the 1960s is what egg freezing is to women today. It has really tipped the scales. It's and I think it's definitely one of the biggest gifts that medicine has given us.
Yeah, and what is the cost involved usually for something like this? Could you give us approximate?
Yeah,
is it an option open for everybody? Or
yes, absolutely. Single women, and I quite heartily do advise women in their, say, approaching 30s, so late 20s, early 30s, to have their eggs frozen, because if you've not found Mr. Right, and if you're sort of having fun with Mr. Right now, secure your uteruses or your ovarian fixed deposits. Freeze your eggs, and then you can go on, keep working, keep looking for if that is your mindset. By then, and then that gives you a good decade.
So the eggs can be frozen for a decade?
Yes, absolutely. It's like I said, it's like a fixed deposit. You just keep making sure there's a minimum balance. In this case, that you pay the facility that you've had your eggs frozen in.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so I think that's really, and that's probably one of the things that's given women that freedom to say, okay, you know what, I don't have to get married now. Our parents, well, not my parents, but generally parents, and again, I don't want to make a sweeping statement, but parents generally worry, you're not married and this and that, which, by the way, is almost never said to a man, because men are blessed. They don't have a biological ticking clock. They'll produce sperm till the day they die.
Thank you so much, Daamini.
Thank you so much for having me.
I guess in conclusion, we live in a generation that allows us to be ourselves and allows us to be single as long as we want. So till next week, stay cool, stay awesome, stay real.
So I start talking.
Could you not put that on camera, please? I beg of you.
Are we good? Can we start? Yes. Okay.
It's like pretty girl, average guy, and
will you come back on a Friday again? No. No.
How do I conclude that?
Okay, again? Ask me again.
I know, and you had such a straight face. I'm like, oh my God, it's killing me.
How do I start? Like, okay, this is what I want to talk about.
No, this, right? Okay, wait.